Right, so when you say t dot, you will get all the methods present for this touch action class. Okay, so now let's tap on any element on the app. Okay, so let me take you to the app first and explain you what I am trying to do here. Yeah, so if I want to tap on any element in the app, so what is the difference between click and tap? So in mobile, we generally use a gesture called tap to click on any UI element there, right? So we deliberately do not use a typical click what we use through mouse in desktops, but we just tap like this with a finger, right? So that's what we are going to write here and check if that single tap is working. Okay, so that's nothing but a click. Okay, even if you click or if you tap on any element, end result will be same, but how you are doing matters, right? So with the automation Appium code, we are just tapping on the buttons. Let's say we are just clicking on that instead of using a typical click. We are using a, this is one of the mobile gesture. If you are a mobile user, you will definitely know how to just tap on that. Okay, but remember that both click and tap gives the same result. All right, so how we can tap with the help of touch action. So you cannot do that with just dot tap something like this with find element. If you want to use any mobile gesture, as I said, you have to use touch action class only. All right, so when you say create an object of t and say t dot and just say tap, you see that you got tap method here. So there are two different arguments inside this, point option and tap options. So if you want to tap on any element based upon coordinates, then you have to use this point option. But here, if you want to click on any element based upon its locator like XPath, then you can use tap options here. Okay, so let me select this and watch carefully that this tap method is expecting tap options. Okay, so tap options object. So when you are looking for first time, it looks very confusing to you, I understand, but I'm trying to explain here that this tap method is demanding tap options object only inside its argument. Okay, so click on this. Right, so it's saying that give me the tap options object. Okay, so what we can do here, tap options. So like this, we are just saying that we are able to access the tap options. Okay, and let me put dot here. And so you have to import one package to make this tap options work. Okay, but unfortunately when you move your cursor like this, you may not see that from Appium Eclipse Intelligence, okay, to import that package. I'm not sure why. Maybe in the documentation they have not included that in the docs jar. Okay, so let's manually import that package. It's very simple. You have this touch action, right, which you just imported for this. Take this and copy here, put import static java.client. Okay, so here touch dot, basically we are on touch methods. So static touch dot, second, I can show you later where exactly it's present. Okay, so I can show you later on where exactly it's there in documentation of their Appium official docs. Okay, so from where I have learned all this. So tap options, okay, dot, this is the one we are using here. So import this and the error is gone. Okay, now so basically we are saying that we are going to use all the tap options inside this argument. So what are those options? The first one is you want to tap on one element on the page, right? So first you have to say I have to tap with this element. Okay, dot, when you say dot, so basically all these are options you can do with this tap. So that's why you are saying tap options. This is mandatory to give inside before you do any operation. So if you want to understand how I will know that I want to give this, it's very simple. As I said, when you say t.tap, you will get this tab options. So it clearly says that you can use tab options object. Okay, so basically that means you can use the methods present in this tab options, and all the methods here displays when you click on dot. Okay, first thing is I want to tap on one element, right? And this is self-explanatory. You see that tab with this element, click on this. But when you click on this, carefully observe that what is the argument it's expecting. It's expecting some element option. Let's see that. But do remember this element object here. Okay, so here you have to write element. That's what it's expecting, right? And you have to pass your web element inside it. When I say web element, that's nothing but this one, driver dot find element, to say that on which object you are tapping. Okay, so right, let me take the XPath. Now the XPath comes into picture here. So once you clicked on views, let's say that I want to click on this expandable list. All right, so for that one sec, I would take the screenshot and then we will get that web element. Okay, so expandable list, and this is the object related stuff, and I can use the XPath. We have seen, right, how to use XPath and all, and I can take this text which is unique saying the expandable list, and the tag name obviously will be, okay, class name. We can use this as a class name and the rate text equals to this. Okay, so let's go and write XPath similarly of what we have done here. I'll just paste it here, but here I'm not clicking on anything. I'm just grabbing this XPath, driver dot find element by dot XPath text is equals to expandable list. For the first time you may feel that little uncomfortable with this tab step, but do not worry. Once you go on doing multiple practice exercises with this touch action, you will be very familiar with this. Okay, for the first time everything looks difficult. Anything in the world looks difficult for first time. Even when I am doing this, when I am learning this from the documentation, I also felt like, why this complicated? But later when I started doing, I realized how easy this is. Okay, web element expand list. Okay, so move your cursor and import web element. So what we have done now, we know where to click, on what element to click. So that element I have to pass inside it. Okay, so first I have grabbed that and stored that web element into expand list variable, and now you can copy and paste that expand list here. Okay, so read again, read the statement, tap, and use the tap options and saying that tap with this element. And why we are using like this here, because this with element expects element option, so that's why element of web element. This is a syntax, but you see that there is an error here. So because you need to again import one package which Eclipse will not give you by default. So let's do that. So I directly copied it from the documentation and I'm pasting it here. Okay, after the end of this lecture, next lecture I will show where exactly I found all these. Okay, so you will be very clear. All right, so after you tapped on that specific element, whenever you use a touch action concept, you have to end with dot perform. Okay, all these are operations, right? To execute all these operations, you have to mandatorily end your touch action step with perform. Okay, so whenever you use touch action concept, please remember that once you complete the step, at the end you have to give this. That's all you need to do to write a perform. Yeah, of course you might be wondered that why should I do all this to just tap on that, but this is how Appium guys designed it. But when you write a complicated concatenation like drag and dropping and sliding, and there you will realize the importance of using this. Okay, now for example, I'll do again t dot tap options. From tap options, first I can say, hey, on which element I want to tap. I'll give like this. Thereafter I can so once I tap on that element, I can again say chain of this dot. Give me a second. With element, 1 second, I have missed some argument here. With element, you have to give element, right? Okay, right. So I told that tab with this element and again dot. You can come down on element, on that specific element. If you are clearly want to tap on one coordinate on that element. Okay, if element will be like, if a button, it will occupy some space on the mobile, right? But on that button you want to tap on specific coordinate. If you have that requirement, you can say on that element tap on this position. Okay, button is an element. On the button tap on coordinate 240, 140. So it exactly tap on that specific position. Okay, so this is how you can actually derive so many things from this tap. And after you tap, maybe there is one more I can show you. After you tap, if you want to long press on that element, you can say, hey, long press on it. Okay, like that. We will discuss all this in our next lectures. So now with this simple step, you may not realize the importance of it, but when you do drag and drop, sliding, scrolling, there this comes into very handy. Okay, so let's run this test and see if that is properly tapping or not. Okay, so right click, run as Java application. So this is an updated lecture. Earlier we don't have like this to tap. So recently, recent Appium versions have brought this change. So I have quickly remade this video to match that latest jar requirement. Okay, so before it was different to tap, and that was pretty straightforward. Okay, so let me open Appium console as well. And this is an updated lecture based upon the latest Appium jar. Okay, so execution will start now. Still trying to find the device. Cool. Yep, it clicked on views and then it clicked on expandable list. You see that success 200. So we have reached another page after tapping on the expandable list. We did not use a traditional click now. We have used mobile gesture tap to tap on this expandable list and we have reached this page. Alright. So that's pretty much about this lecture, and in next lecture let's continue this discussion. Thank you.